My next guest is a former Philadelphia Eagle, also a Raider, but you know him probably more now for his voice because he's been on your airwaves for a while. You can hear him every morning on 94 WIP on the morning show. But most importantly, he was a state champion with Cumberland Valley High School. Jon Ritchie is here. Jon, good morning. Hello.
Wow, Pat. Those were the days.
Right?
Of some good football being played in Central PA.
The better days, the best days.
Yeah.
The glory days?
Yes, for me.
Yeah.
As a fullback, carrying the ball 25 times a game, that is as glorious as it gets.
That didn't happen again.
The Delaware wing T offense is the glorious. For a fullback?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, you're featured. You are the featured back in the Delaware wing T.
You are here. I've asked you to come in to help me answer a Gallen of Questions. So that is a play, obviously, on my last name, as you know. So what we do is we pull out a question, we answer it, and then we move on. What do you think?
Great.
All right, you're first, so hop in there.
Oh, wow. I get to pick
yes.
from
We'll go back and forth. We'll go back and forth. Here.
So this is a robust piece
There's a
of paper.
lot of, yes.
For Jaylen Carter to take an even larger leap next year, he has to do what? So am I asking you this question?
No, we're just asking it out loud into the atmosphere. We're putting it out into the world, and you can answer into the ether.
So I can answer this.
Absolutely.
Ether
That's
question?
why you're here, to answer these questions. You're the pro.
I guess that does make sense. Jaylen Carter to take a larger leap. He's about to take that leap.
Yeah.
Right now, get ready. Jaylen Carter is going to explode onto the world stage because people really don't realize how great he is.
Yeah.
Across the country, they've heard a little bit. They've seen a game here and there when the Eagles play. But right now, we are the number one defense in the NFL in terms of yardage. We are a group that has one physical dominator up front. Really, the strength of our defense is the linebacking core and the secondary, and the guys up front are getting it done because of the merits of the linebackers and the safeties and the secondary being so tight. Jaylen Carter is special, and he's going to open everyone's eyes because he is double and triple teamed and still making plays.
You don't even think we have to wait till next year. You think it happens in the playoffs?
He's about to explode into national consciousness this weekend, next weekend, the weekend after that, because he's going to be making ridiculous plays that help our team win in the postseason when it matters the most.
All right, so it's going to happen quick. I like
Yes.
that. All right, next question.
But he also could be extremely disciplined. We can't afford him being kicked out of anything.
Sure, 15-yard penalties.
Keep your emotions in check.
Understood.
Can I throw that out?
Yeah, you sure can.
Okay.
Does Nick Sirianni get enough love?
Yes.
You think
He gets
enough?
a lot. Today on our show, everyone was calling him a great coach because he's won 50 games. I believe this is a great team, a great roster, a great organization, great coordinators. I think he's done a great job as a head coach, as a manager of a lot of personalities, a lot of big personalities. His connection with these guys, his always availability with these players, his openness, the way that they work for him, it's all amazing. But I can't say he's a great coach yet. I need to see him win in the postseason.
Sure.
I need to see him out-coach someone in the postseason. I feel as though he's been out-coached when we've lost previously.
I agree.
I think Andy Reid got the better of him. Andy Reid and company, Steve Spagnuolo and company.
Sure.
So I want to see more. I can't say he's a great coach yet, but I think a lot of people already are saying Nick is great because they're saying the record speaks for itself. He is a great coach. I think what we've done is he has managed a wonderful roster.
Yeah.
And this organization has given him every benefit that he could ask for. He's doing a wonderful job.
Yeah.
I don't know yet that I'm ready to go there.
I think I agree with you in that you need to see that one signature game where you're like, he just put us over the top.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be great. Maybe
I'd
that's
love to
coming.
see it.
Again, maybe just like Jaylen Carter. Maybe that's coming.
I hope, yeah.
All right, dig in.
I
Grab
hope it's
another.
now. I think I got two.
You got two? Yeah, jump on back. It's not cheat.
For the Eagles to win the Super Bowl, what is one thing that has to happen?
One thing.
We need to decode the kicker conundrum.
Oh.
We do have a kicker
You think
problem.
that's an issue?
He's 1 of 7 from 50 yards and farther this season.
Yeah.
I want to say our field goal percentage right now puts us 26th in the NFL.
Yeah.
Jake Elliott's kicker percentage puts him 28th out of qualified kickers. So what gives when you've got the number one offense, number one rushing attack, the number one defense in all of football, and the 28th kicker?
It's one thing weighing you down.
When when every point matters this much, I feel a little frightened by the proposition that we might have to put our faith on the kicker from 50 plus when it matters most. I don't know. Is he ready to take that kick? Is Nick going to have to adjust his decision making because our kicker can't kick it far?
I think at least in the early going of the postseason, you've got to trust that he can figure it out, that he's done it before. He's kicked in big games and cold weather and all that. What else can you do?
You could go find another kicker who can kick farther. You could go find another kicker who can kick better.
Risky time to do that. No?
I don't. You're right, but I kept thinking in December we'd be covering our butts at some point. Just bring someone in.
Yeah.
Let's let them compete. But there's an argument that says, hey, we don't want to plant the seed of doubt in our kicker's mind by forcing him to compete with someone.
Yeah.
So maybe that came into play. I'm not sure.
Start, bench, cut. Jordan 1s, Jordan 3s, or Jordan 4s? You have to start one, bench one.
I'm cutting the ones.
You're cutting the ones.
Because they've become so ubiquitous. I think that some may appreciate that. The appreciation has been watered down for the ones. So I got to cut the ones. And the ones are slender for those of us with wide feet like mine.
Okay.
Start between the
3s and 4s.
3s and 4s. I'm going to start the 3s.
Start
the
the
3s for me were my most trusty basketball shoes of all time. The 3s for me happened in 1987, 1988, which is actually when my feet stopped growing. So my feet were this size in 1987, 88 when I was 14. I was 13 or 14 years old.
Topped out.
And, yeah, that's when I topped out. But I was only 5'5",
with giant feet?
130 pounds.
Wow.
I was 5'5", 130 with size 14s. And I couldn't find them anywhere. They didn't make 14s back then.
Probably not, no. Or
So
it's very hard to find, yeah.
The 13s were super tight. It was problematic. But I found a pair of Jordan 3s for basketball, wore them in 7th grade and 8th grade. I wore them so hard that my heel wore through the back, through the plastic thing in the back. Yeah, that big wore straight through like the inside felt part to where I was on the
What were you doing with them?
I was playing basketball.
Yeah, man, you were playing hard. You were playing like a fullback.
I was boxing people out. Yeah, I loved the 3s.
3s.
So 4s will be on my bench. I love
3s,
your
4s.
4s. I have your 4s.
Yeah, these are nice.
Those are gorgeous when they go with the black, red, the original looking colorways. But 3s for me.
I knew you were a Jordan guy, which is why I put that question in. All right, jump in. We'll see how much more we can get here in the next few minutes. Let's get some playoff questions.
What's your go-to dessert?
Oh, boy. Cheesecake Factory.
I actually made my... That was a bad shot by me. I made... I shouldn't say I. I helped make chocolate lava cake at the house.
Oh.
Just a couple days ago.
Are you into baking?
I'm not. I have 2 daughters who are really good with that stuff. My son is chef-like also.
Oh.
And he was home visiting for the holiday.
Yeah.
We made molten chocolate lava cake, and I don't think you can beat that.
That's really good.
It's magnificent.
To make it, though, arduous process?
It was, yeah.
To
it
make
took a
like
while.
the little
it
volcano
took a while,
thing?
and this is a story. This is Alicia, who you work with.
Yes.
When we had been trying to clean up the kitchen, she's a little more fastidious than I am.
Sure, I can see that.
Where she was labeling the Tupperwares.
Mm-hmm.
She labeled
like that.
She labeled the Tupperware sugar. My son cooked the molten chocolate lava cakes, a whole batch of them, a double batch.
Wow.
With the labeled sugar that she apparently labeled wrong. It was a giant salt bin. And he used salt for, I mean, really, like a double batch of the molten chocolate lava cake. And
Were they edible?
Well, the girls, my daughters bit into them at the same time, and it was apparently horrendous. I mean, it was salt instead of the sugar.
It's disgusting.
Horrendous. So, and it was for my daughter's birthday.
Oh, no.
Her 14th birthday. He was making these things. My daughter was almost crying. Oh. She was really upset. Alicia felt
terrible. I'm sure
she felt horrible. I felt like I was a bad dad, but.
I don't mean to laugh because people are almost in tears.
Yeah,
but that's pretty.
We fixed it though. We made another batch.
Most surprising thing about the Eagles' regular season?
Most surprising thing is
What
our defense
shocked you?
is the best
in
the NFL. I knew that our running game would be outstanding. We're hoping that Saquon, ignites things and we can be at the top of the league in that respect. Man, just out of the blue, out of nowhere, you've got young Jaylen Carter holding down the fort up front. And as a penetrating, playmaking D tackle, he's, again, going to show the world that he is elite, but just so young. And then Cooper DeJean, you're telling me the nickel, this is such a critical position in today's world, in today's NFL, when your base is basically your 4-2 nickel, where you've got two linebackers at almost all times because you're matching personnel.
Sure.
When people like to, spread you out and stay athletic and keep their options open. Now, the 4-2-5, Cooper DeJean is ideal. He's covering like a cornerback, but can take on a lead block like a linebacker. Yep. He's aggressive. He's got the feel for the game and the playmaking sense where he's always around the ball. And then on the back end, you nailed it with Quinyon as well, where he's a guy who can just take this half the field. Mm-hmm. Take their best guy all day if we decide to ask you to do so. Sure. And he's fine with it. And he's cocky about it. And he knows he can lock you down. These keystone positions of our defense are now manned by the youngest guys on the team.
Yeah, so crazy.
And they're crushing it. So that defense somehow, through the grace of Howie's brilliance drafting, has been at the most critical positions. We are set for years to come. And that feels great. And it's out of the blue. No one expected it.
And nothing against him because he's a great guy. But the moment that Cooper DeJean came in for Avonte Maddox, the switch, I think, flipped on this defense and made it that much more potent. But kudos to Vic Fangio.
Seems that way.
He's outstanding. All right, let's see if we can do like a little rapid fire. Tanner McKee reminds me of blank.
Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Quarterback who reads it out and takes what the offense gives him.
A lot of people will be happy to hear you say that. I like him too. If you were Saquon Barkley, would you have pushed to play in Week 18?
That's tough. Mm-hmm. I really wanted to go for that. I do believe if A.J. Brown were the guy going for the record, we would have gone for the record because A.J. Brown probably would have asked to go for the record. I think that's in his personality. I think that's the receivers that I was around. You know, Terrell Owens would have asked to go for the record, and I wouldn't have faulted him. I wanted the offensive line to get that. I wanted the offensive players to take that pride for the rest of their lives.
Do you think if he had fallen short of 2,000 yards in that Week 17 game, that they would have come back and played in Week 18?
I don't know.
I think they would have.
I don't know. I don't know who made the decision ultimately. I know that it sounded like Nick talked to a lot of the guys to take the temperature of the team. They did their due diligence, and they felt like it's so hard not to take a bye that we are afforded. You know, basically we can rest our guys like we got a bye. If we do this, how can we possibly turn our back on that? I felt like they could have done both. I felt like they could have had their cake and eaten it too, and they're forever going to regret it.
Their chocolate lava cake and eating it too?
Yeah. Made with sugar, not salt.
Important. Do you have an Eagles-Packers prediction yet?
Yeah, I think the Eagles will crush Green Bay. I do. I think we are much more talented. Their play lately has taken a bit of a dip. They are, you know, there's something to be said for the way you enter the postseason. We are feeling pretty good about ourselves. We're fully rested. We are so talented, and they've struggled in recent weeks.
So crush.
Yeah. I do think we are much better than Green Bay, especially now that they've lost Christian Watson.
Should the Eagles keep Zach Bond long term?
Yes, please. He's so outstanding, the MVP of that defense.
Yeah.
But, you know, Nakobe Dean doesn't get the credit he deserves. Nakobe Dean has been just as outstanding. Maybe doesn't get some of the credit because it's strange to see a guy who was an edge rusher being able to drop and cover and do all these things that Zach is doing.
His athleticism is insane.
Versatility is incredible. The want-to is incredible. But both of them working together with the safeties, that's part of – I mean, that's why the defense is as great as it is. The coverage is airtight.
Who's your sleeper team in the playoffs? Do you have one?
Does there have to be a sleeper team? Well, I guess it seems like everyone expects the Ravens to be the Super Bowl winning. I don't expect the Ravens to go and I don't know that I have a sleeper. I do think this NFC playoff comes down to us in Detroit.
Yep.
I think that's inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
And the tougher team should come out of there with a W. I do think we're the tougher team, but they're incredibly motivated. They're right there with us. Yeah, Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator, is brilliant, but man, Vic Fangio, our talent outweighs theirs. It's going to be close. Man, it's going to be brutal.
I hope that's the NFC Championship game.
That's the type of football I can't wait to see. And so no sleepers.
Sure.
The best team in the NFC, I believe, is Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, we're going to have to play on the road, which does even things out a lot against a team that we're that close with. We're going to win it. This is the year, man. We're going to take this thing all the way to the promised land.
2 questions left. If the Packers were to score an upset, what would they have to do? What has to go right for them?
Well, stop Saquon.
Okay.
Which I don't think they will do, but stop the run first and make our offense one-dimensional. They'll have to score on a defense that doesn't give up points.
Last question, John. Who's your favorite current Eagle? Who excites you greatly when you watch them? Can you narrow it down to one player, one person?
Is it too chalk to say Saquon Barkley?
Not at all.
Saquon Barkley seems like the ultimate human being just to start with. So a likable person, and then just maybe the greatest total package that I've ever paid close attention to at the running back position. And I thought I was a running back at one point, so I've been around the position a lot. He is the ideal size, the ideal speed, the ideal bulk, the ideal quickness, the ideal, it's like
built in a lab.
He really is perfect for the position. And then, man, a nice guy, a team leader, unassuming on top of it, works his butt off, always says the right things, encourages those around him, selfless on top of it. Saquon is hard not to love. I mean, love, adore. Yeah, Saquon Barkley, thank you. And I'm so glad that next year you'll be back, and the year after that.
He's incredible.
We can keep winning with this guy.
What a signing. What a signing. You're incredible. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. We went through all the questions. John, it's always a pleasure getting together with you. I appreciate it, my friend.
Thanks, Pat.
You got it, buddy.